Since the dawn of time, people have told stories of great heroes and terrible villains. Since approximately 1974, nerds in basements have used complicated charts, tables, and systems of rolling dice to create role-playing games, allowing them to step into the shoes of these dynamic characters, escaping into worlds of adventure where wizards and warriors, orcs and elves, and even, dare I say, dragons and dungeons take center stage. Tonight, via the magic of internet streaming, we shall tell you one of many such tales of adventure. These are our heroes, although technically speaking, a better term would be protagonists. Jeffrey Banjo, half-elf bard.
Right, everyone. Quite happy to be called a hero. If you want me to, if you want to call me a hero, shout out to all the fanjos out there. And I reckon there'll be a lot more fanjos going on in a bit, because we are coming to the apex of what is going to be probably the greatest adventure that anyone has ever told. And I'm going to be writing a song about that, and that's going to go straight to number one, I reckon. So, watch this space.
As a bard, you do love to blow your own horn. Reverend Hatchet, Veggie Pygmy Druid.
Good evening, good day to you. The Reverend here. I found these troubles and travels through the desert quite difficult, being mostly vegetable, organic matter. I'm feeling a bit dry. I could do with a kind of a bit of shade and maybe a sip of some moisture, just dangle my toes and my roots. Somewhere a bit moist, but happy to be traveling with my companions. I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Trim Toscobble, halfling rogue / barbarian / warlock.
Hello, I'm Trim Toscobble, and I'm okay, really, fundamentally. I'm a bit warm in the desert, and off we go to the pyramid, and I quite frankly I'm not over the fact that I've lost all my money and that it's been replaced for seashells. I'm not over it. It's not okay. I'm still quite distressed, but I've got Ms. Duzball III in my pocket still, so I feel some duty of care, but not much. It's a tough one. I feel so torn. It's hard to care for things, That's where I'm at.
And last but by no means least, Bagsi Balladin. Wow, okay, I really screwed that one up, huh? Last but by no means least, Bagsi Badley, half-orc paladin. Today portrayed by Roz Beeson, because Alice Taylor Matthews is away.
Hey guys, I'm Bagsi Badley, and yes, I changed my hair. That's why I look a little different. Thanks for noticing. A bit about me. I'm a lover and a fighter. I like to spread my legs and some joy and some enemies' innards. Out for a bit of a good time, really, like YOLO, except that I'm a paladin, so I can totally bring people back from the dead as well.
And tonight's tale is Season 12, Episode 2, Pyramid Scheme. Our heroes have crossed the mighty desert of Strezed, faced the Oasis of Madness, and defeated a band of roving maulers, aka some poorly conceived lion wheel creatures from previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons. Now they stand before the immense obsidian pyramid that is the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors, where a prophecy says that they and their 24 followers will encounter their doom. It's quite a nice pyramid, really. Very slickly put together. Kind of like a black glossy sheen to the thing. That's obsidian, volcanic glass for you. You're just over the dune that will allow you to be concealed from the pyramid if you want to be. You could sneak up, but you could also just walk right up to the entrance. Dotted in the middle of one side, the closest side of the pyramid, is what is obviously the entrance. It's obviously the entrance because it is marked with a sign that says entrance in glowing red letters. It chiseled into the obsidian above a revolving door.
This feels like the first test. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of an epic adventure, if we're going to start chatting about that, then revolving door doesn't quite. That's not how I want it to start. Do you know what
Feels
I mean?
a bit formal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Strangely strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit. I was going to say actually. I mean, the black obsidian pyramid. There was a real sense of gravitas, and then the revolving door. Just that's thrown me. That has thrown me.
Do you feel like you deserve gravitas?
Oh no! I more the pyramid. I didn't want the pyramid to undercut itself. Because it's so glossy. Someone's obviously been polished.
The pyramid knows that it is not at the peak of its career here.
Okay. Well, is there like, if we sort of wander around a little bit, is there any other obvious or non-obvious entrances, or is it just like everything else is just slick and like a sheer obsidian face, and this is the only?
Well, you have an obscene perception bonus, so you rolled a 21. You can't actually see another entrance or exit. Do you want to walk around like the whole thing, or
how long would that take? Is it like massive, like larger than a football?
It's pretty large. You don't, unless you've got like a sextant in your pocket, you can't measure it from where you are. But you think like hundreds of feet high. It would take you like maybe an hour to like walk all the way around the outside without, unless you walk right up to it.
How long would it take to climb?
I don't think you've got a climbing speed, do you, Trim?
But on average, the average halfling, how long would it take the average halfling?
Well, so the
doing
average
spider climb.
You're not the average halfling.
Hang on, doing spider climb or not doing spider climb? Because the average halfling can't climb like a spider, otherwise it would be called halfling climb.
The average halfling doing the spell spider climb.
The average trim.
The average trim.
The average trim. Okay, so technically speaking, you could get to the top in 2 minutes, because you go 25. You can climb 25 feet in 6 seconds, and there's 10 lots of 6 seconds in a minute, which is 250 feet. So then 2 minutes, 500 feet. And if it's 500 feet tall, that's how long it would take you to climb it. 2 minutes.
Brilliant math. Brilliant math, Steve. Wonderful.
Do you actually...
This is what the audience wants. Basic arithmetic.
Hard number crunching quality on a bank holiday Friday. What do you want to do that then, Trim? Do you want to?
Yeah. I'll climb on up. I'll quick as a spider, back in a mo.
Well, so you just got to run up to it and start climbing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I might touch it a little bit, and it's probably hot because it's black and in the sun.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna give it a touch and be like, "Oh, is that?" Before I do it, just gonna touch it with my hand.
But as you run up to the thing, the other 24 followers that you have going along with you, that's Wendy, the Loxodon cleric monk, that's like an elephant-headed giant person for anyone who's following on, Mystic Melinda, the half-elf, Constance Cares, the emotional support and hug-giving bear.
Helpful.
Yeah. Mr. Volcano, who claims to be a volcano, but is obviously not a volcano. All of those people stay behind with a general kind of like sense that, you go first. You reach out and touch the glossy black surface, and as you approach it, you can see, is that something swirling underneath the surface, lurking just below the glossy black surface? Ooh. So you reach out and touch it. It feels surprisingly cold, given that it's a black object in the middle of the blooming desert. It should be really hot, but it's cool to the touch. And on the wind, you can hear a faint whisper. What is that sound? Hello? Did you miss the entrance?
Sorry. Do you own this pyramid? I didn't see the entrance. I thought there was another one. Is there another one?
No, there's just the one. It's under the sign. Just to your left. Just to your left. Slightly to your left.
Thank you, mysterious swirling voice. Guys, there's a mysterious swirling voice telling me that the only entrance is the revolving door entrance. What do you want to do?
Oh, I don't believe that.
Friendly.
I don't believe that.
It didn't sound unfriendly, but it is swirling. Also, the pyramid is cold.
Did we hear that as well, or was it just
you I mean, unless you went up with Trim, you're still on the sand dune, which is like maybe 100 feet away.
Okay.
Like you can hear Trim because she's yelling at you, but you can't hear the voice.
I mean, I'm gonna make a bold, throw it out there.
You go for it.
Go to the door, if nothing else, but to get out the sun. I'm feeling a bit crisp.
You haven't retained your precious moisture.
Yeah.
I could do with a misting. Misting.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'm ginger, so let's do it.
Oh God. Oh, that's
But this guy's just living inside the pyramid's wall, or it is the pyramid talking to us.
I mean, you've not asked.
We've not even tried to ask a question at all to this guy.
It's not. I mean, yeah, it's not clear from the context whether it's the wall talking or not. Trim has heard a voice and has told you she has heard a voice.
I have no idea about this guy. He could be really hot, or he could be like really, I don't know, up for a little bit more touching or something. I mean, he seems to be
Bagsi.
fairly up for
Bagsi,
it.
are you questioning whether you can have sex with a giant obsidian pyramid?
She touched it and it rippled a little bit, suggesting that pyramid kind of liked it a little bit, at least. I saw that as much, I think. I saw that.
Well, hang on. You have to get like proper verbal consent. You can't just take the pyramid rippling as a positive sign.
Of course I would go and I obviously would check and make sure that the pyramid was happy beforehand. I'm just saying the fact that it seems to be responsive to touch. It suggests that maybe it's looking for a human connection. So
plus, it wants us to go into its entrance. So
it wants us in
that's
there.
Pretty
so far
consenty for a pyramid, I would say.
Can we ask it?
Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to see what's going on? Who's the voice? Trim. Who are we chatting to?
So I've got a number of friends, acquaintances really, that I would like to who want to know some things. Are you sexually available, and are you evil?
Wow, that's a lot to ask.
And what's their
name?
My
name.
Oh.
my name's Scott.
Oh, thank you for answering. That's nice, Scott. Good, Scott. The pyramid. Are you the pyramid? I'm in the pyramid. Come inside so I can talk to you. Oh, that's good. And as for the evil and sexually available thing,
yes.
To both.
Yeah.
All right, then let's go inside.
Something for everyone.
Why not?
Does he know about the prophecy?
My dear acquaintance, my acquaintance has said.
No, dearest was right.
That there's a prophecy. Do you know anything about this, Scott?
It'd be really much easier if you came inside so that I could see who I was talking to. You're kind of weirding me out.
Okay, Scott, we don't want to make you uncomfortable. Guys, Scott's being a bit of a... Let's go inside and talk to Scott.
All right. I guess we are kind of like doing a McDonald's drive-through of the chat right now. Let's if we go in a little bit.
He could also come out you know what I mean? If he was a good host, then he'd come to the door to greet us and do all that. So, let's rock in.
Just go in. Let's go in there.
Through the dread revolving door, you find yourselves in a large, wide, open-plan area with lots of tasteful circular arrangements of seats around the outside of palm trees that give the whole thing a kind of outdoorsy, natural feel. You feel instantly relaxed, as though you could sit here and have a coffee and a chat whilst waiting for someone. The far end of the room, behind a desk, you can see a slightly awkward-looking but incredibly well-muscled, shirtless man behind a desk.
Oh. Right. I'm going to just approach that man straight up, walk straight over. Have a little
He
bit
waves awkwardly at you and says, "Hi, I'm Scott. Did you think I was a pyramid?"
Oh, Scott. Oh, no, never, of course. I could hear through the pyramid that you were a very attractive, very oiled gentleman. And I am very intrigued as to how big those muscles are.
Scott, may I ask, why are you so oily? Was there some kind of accident in the kitchen? Do you need...
Sorry, I want to make it clear that Scott is not oily. That is something that Bagsi invented.
Scott, I'm very sorry. I've misread the situation.
He's just glistening, isn't he? He's just glistening. That's
you're
what
maybe.
it is.
It's just.
I did not describe him as glistening.
Glistening. He's in the desert. He's shirtless.
Scott, you have a glow.
Probably
you have a glow, Scott. It's a good thing.
I'm slightly worried that I described someone as well muscled and not wearing a shirt, and you've immediately filled in all of these weird sexual fantasies.
Scott, what's happened to your shirt, mate?
I don't really wear shirts.
Not as professional as I thought in here, is it?
Well, I mean, sorry.
Door.
You're right. I'm not doing my job. Sorry, illustrator. I need to specify that it is a panelled desk. You can't see underneath the desk.
Are you wearing anything underneath the desk?
Oh no.
Oh, so you're just absolutely naked then?
Yeah. Well, they don't really make it's. Sorry, we've gotten way off topic. We're way off. We're off topic. Hello. Welcome to the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors, where evil monsters go to die.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten it was that. I'd forgotten it was the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors.
What brings you here? Do you have an appointment?
Well, technically, yeah.
In a way,
we sort of got
with fate.
Got a prophecy.
Oh, a prophecy. Hang on 1 minute. He pulls up like an appointments book from underneath the desk and flips through it, and it says, appointments. Oh, there should be 28 of you?
Yeah, the rest of them are outside, just waiting to see whether or not this is legit. And this is the right tomb.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, not all of them are outside, because Ms. Dustball III is in Trim's pockets.
Yeah, but that might be our race in the hole. You know what I mean?
But there are a couple of your followers are kind of like poking their heads round the revolving door and kind of like just having a little look. You can see James Morgan, the insurance underwriting manager, just kind of like peering around with his glasses and his beard,
His eyes in the hole.
and his badge that says "I love insurance, me."
Fair enough. You know, it's important to enjoy your work.
Do we need everybody in here to carry on?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, you know, you can do what you like, but I mean, we've got an appointment for you if you're the right people. Are you the right people?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's get a minute, guys. Get in here. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to go outside
wave
of the
wave
door and shout, "Yo, Fanjos, you let's all get in here."
That's so presumptuous. You don't know they're Fanjos.
I don't think anyone's coming in if you yell that.
Come on.
Pleasure Soul Mine, the barbarian bard, gives you a particularly dirty look at that.
Good dirty, bad dirty.
I misinterpret it.
bad, bad dirty, and how do you misinterpret it? What do you?
Well, Jeffrey's an optimist, so
he interprets it as good dirty,
as a good look.
Okay, but yeah, they're willing to follow you in, and they kind of like have a look around the reception area, and they're like, "Oh, fancy." Mr. Volcano feels quite at home with palm trees, proper volcanic plants, according to him.
Fair enough.
Feels like he could erupt all over those.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, Mr. Volcano. Sure.
You
Sure.
you erupt wherever you want.
Yeah.
Just clean it up afterwards.
So, says Scott, your appointment's on the top floor. Do you want to all come, or do you want to leave your followers down here?
Well, it's
Banjos, they
interesting that you should ask if we want to come, Scott, because it's a question that I have for you as well. If you are interested, you can put my hand on the table and just slide it slightly over, but just checking, making sure that he's into it. And just going to lean in. A proposition there. There's a proposition.
I'm going to turn to the Reverend and to Trim and just be like, do you think Bagsy's being a little bit more reserved than normal?
As you lean in, Bagsy, you get a very good look at Scott's incredibly chiseled, handsome face and chest. As you glance downwards, you can also see the lower half of Scott's body, which is that of an enormous giant spider.
Oh. I'm into that. I'm into that. Cool with that.
Yes, she is.
Scott blushes slightly and then stands up to his full height, which is about 12 foot tall with all of the legs. So, I'm kind of flattered by that. A lot of people have a lot of prejudice against driders, which, side note, Scott is a drider, which is like a centaur, but a spider instead of a horse.
Lovely.
Dungeons and Dragons, everyone.
I'm surprised by that, Scott, if I'm honest with you, because, with those incredibly muscled arms and legs, 8 of them, there's a lot that you could offer to...
I tell you what, it makes a lot more sense now that you're not wearing a shirt, because that would look weird when you stood up. Tuck it in.
I mean,
tuck it in.
It's. I appreciate it. It's been a while since anyone's flirted with me, mostly because all of my colleagues are horrible monsters. It's funny you should say well-muscled legs, but I don't actually have any muscles in my legs. My legs work with a series of pneumatic tube, like all spiders.
Pneumatic tubes.
Listen, I feel like we're really hitting it off here.
Yeah.
Now, we need to get in there for some reason. I'm not sure what. I'm not 100% sure.
In where?
In the labyrinth or whatever it is, right? Did you say labyrinth?
Oh, yeah. No, you've got an appointment. I can take you upstairs.
I have a quick question, actually, Scott.
I've got another question after.
Floor.
I have a question.
Yeah, I can have a question.
Yeah. Okay. Question the first. If we're going to the top floor of the pyramid, would it be prudent to leave behind a large number of followers? Because I'm presuming the top floor is a lot smaller than the floor.
Don't worry. The dimensions of the pyramid are like really vague. It's as many people will fit into the smallest room as you like. It's fine.
Well, that sounds legit. That sounds great.
Yeah. Second question. Can you make web out of your bum?
Scott blushes again and says, I don't have to answer that.
Just, never met a drider before. Didn't want to offend or anything like that. I just, I thought it'd be a good, it'd be quite interesting if you could do that. Pretty cool, actually. Got to remember, we're not the horrible monsters that you live with, Scott. You know what I'm saying?
Scott leans over closer to Bagsi so that only she can hear when he kind of half whispers, are all of your friends perverts?
Tell me about it. Am I right? I'm like the only sane one here. Look, I feel like we're hitting it off, Scott, you and me, right now, right here.
Uh-huh.
Now, I've got I don't know, 10 minutes before we've got to, I don't know, do some stuff. If you were
I think there's about 25 minutes left of this half, actually.
friggin' wonderful, right? Okay. Now, is there anywhere upstairs that's a bit private that we could go to?
Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to like take you round. Well, when I say I'm going to take you upstairs, I don't mean like that there's an elevator in the corner or anything like that. I don't know where you got that idea from.
Graham, quick! Nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it.
What I really mean is that I'll need to like just show you around the place. I won't even like put you in like any of the safe bits. There's not really any safe bits. It'll probably be quite dangerous. I should probably start with the spiel. I feel like you don't understand what this is here.
Fundamentally, Scott, you're right.
Thank you, Scott, for being ever so kind. Please tell us everything we need to know. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, well then, follow me through this incredibly large, foreboding archway that has been here the entire time, but you probably didn't notice until now because it wasn't described.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh.
God. It's funny, isn't it? You just don't notice things, eh?
Weird. They don't exist until you see them often, do they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sorry. One more thing before we start the tour. Is anybody allergic to metatext?
No.
No, I've never been tested officially.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that I know what that is,
I
Scott.
did eat some mold once, if that's the same.
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds like probably we'll all be fine. If anyone starts sneezing, just try not to think too hard about it. It's going to get pretty reference heavy. Follow me through the archway.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Through the archway, Scott leads you down a corridor of faceted obsidian lined with glowing golden runes. It's kind of fancy looking and fills the whole place with kind of like a lovely warm light. Everyone's looking like on top form because of the warm tones.
Nice.
Welcome to the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors, where just anything that could have been part of existence but wasn't goes to just sort of not exist, but also kind of do exist.
Right.
Like half-finished ideas, things that people suggested that were a bit too rude to be included in the story. Alternate stuff, you know, like remember when you had like that alternate universe thing because of the time travel? Load of those ended up here, just a bunch of them.
Amazing that you know so much, Scott. Gosh, I suppose working here.
You've been reading my blog?
I don't think that you have a blog, Jeffrey.
We'll see.
I think that you might have a journal that you imagined that you could publish online, but I don't think that you actually know what the internet is.
You would know all about the web, mate.
Wow, okay.
No.
Scott leans over to Bagsi again and is like, are all of your friends racist as well?
Just that one. Just that one is a bit of a knob.
He is the worst, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is the worst. But, you know, we keep him around because he's... I don't know why we keep...
We don't know why.
So it's the whole thing is sort of like a museum of like creative energy and like failed projects and, you know, all the weird stuff that we didn't get to do in the main part of the adventure, the story, your story. How's that going, by the way? Do you feel like you've had a satisfying character arc?
Very, yeah.
I mean, so this whole pyramid is for us?
Well, technically speaking, this entire universe is for you.
Oh,
Well,
no.
You and on some level, the people who made all of your 24 friends out in the reception.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
They're
I see what you
creative.
meant about metatext.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no.
she's got to...
Sorry. It looks like Trim's going to be adorably sneezing throughout the rest of the show.
What if it's not adorable?
Isn't it? Isn't it though?
What if it goes everywhere? What if it gets on the lens?
Yeah. What if it's a wetty?
Anyway, we're just coming to the end of the tunnel of non-specific and quite confusing exposition, which brings us to
done well.
Which brings us, of course, to the most important part of the adventure, which is the friends you made along the way room, but also snacks. Actually, it's mostly the snacks room.
Oh,
forget the friends you made along the way.
That was my question.
It's the snacks room. And indeed, the corridor opens out into a circular chamber filled with tables covered in snacks of all varieties. Think of your favorite food. It's there, but it's kind of small, bite-sized. And if your favorite food is smaller than bite-sized, it's large and bite-sized.
Soil.
Yes, bite-sized soil. Do you know what? I think probably a bite-sized snack version of soil were probably one of those like little seedling planters. You know when you get them like
little trays,
a big like a rectangular tray, and then it's all cut into squares like brownies, like a tray bake but plants.
Yeah, my mum uses yogurt pots.
When you said Human Forgotten Horrors, Scott.
Yes.
I thought we were going to have an opportunity to do a little bit of fighting, maybe get some bangy.
Oh, yes, that is absolutely right. Hang on, just one second.
Yeah, none of this is actually very, very horrible at all.
Yeah,
I've had a lovely time so far.
I'm going to walk over to the flapjack bites and start nibbling.
The flapjack bites, as you walk over to them, are arranged in the shape of a dwarf woman wearing a pirate hat, a pair of vaguely familiar boots, and wielding a saber. She appears to be standing at the prow of some kind of sailing ship.
Remember, Bagsi, that really emotional connection you had a few years back? Do you remember, Bagsi? Do you remember all about that?
Yeah.
You know, when you got
your wife
remarried to your wife.
Oh shit! Yeah, that moment. That was that.
Really,
that was
really, really loved her.
Okay. Yeah.
You've been sad about it ever since, right?
I have. Yeah.
And then she died almost instantly. She was killed horribly. Died.
I'm struggling with it still. I'm struggling with that really still.
As Jeffrey goes to take one of the flapjack bites from the sculpture of Margaret Seaworthy, Bagsy's wife, who died horribly immediately.
There you go, Roz.
Right in front of your eyes. It's traumatic.
What the
fuck? A horrible time.
Suddenly,
don't take that.
Bursting out of the flapjack bite sculpture's chest becomes a ball of fur and fangs that leaps towards Jeffrey's face and completely misses him. Scott pipes up from the corner. Oh yeah, also there's a duck bunny in here.
A duck bunny?
As the thing skids to a halt on the floor, you can see that it is indeed a lot like a rabbit, but if a rabbit, instead of a rabbit's mouth parts, had a duck bill.
That's funny.
Right.
It's got the cute fluffy ears, the cute tail, the big long legs. It's hopping around. It looks quite aggressive.
For a bunny with a duck face. I mean,
for a bunny with a duck face.
Yeah, you'd expect that to be really friendly.
And indeed, from all around you, sculptures made of your favourite foods and people that you've met and known along the course of your adventures erupt, and duck bunnies burst out from all of them as well. A sculpture of an animated suit of armour, whose name escapes me right now, but was in the very, very first season, and is made of jello, bursts. I think it was Sir Reginald.
Yeah, fair play. Nice.
Remember that guy, Sir Reginald's?
Yeah.
Good guy. Good guy.
The two monks from 2 seasons ago. A library of books on ethical goat farming and Cursed Leaf Blower, except they're both made out of potato salads. Their statues are holding hands.
That's nice.
Is Malford here?
Malford Higgledy-Stain is not here because Malford Higgledy-Stain was not a friend you made along the way, but an enemy who took a surprisingly long time to kill.
Yeah, that's fair.
You find yourselves surrounded by a dozen duck bunnies covered in various foodstuffs. One of them's got lime jello stuck on its ears. One of them's got, a couple of them are just covered in mayonnaise. It's a bit unpleasant.
Right. I think we can take these.
I mean, are they attacking us?
They are attacking. Well, one of them's already tried to like peck you.
I thought I just startled it and it was like defending itself, and then if I backed off, is it still like aggressively going for me then?
They are still aggressively going for you. As they close in.
Is it just on
Reverend Hatchet, you have rolled highest on initiative.
All of us.
What you gonna do?
I'm just gonna produce flame from my hands, just with a little puff of smoke, and then chuck a handful of fire at the closest one. Just toast myself a roast rabbit / roast duck.
Your flung ball of fire flies straight at the duck bunny and catches it right in the face. And because they don't really have very many hit points, you kill it in one hit, and you're left with just a sort of weird mixed grill on the floor.
Does it separate into two? Like does it like half a roast rabbit, half roast duck?
If anything, it's more like a marbling sort of a thing, like Wagyu beef, except instead of beef with veins of fat, it's rabbit with veins of duck. The smell of roast meat fills the room and is quite appetizing, really. Bagsi, you're next quickest off the mark. These duck bunnies are not quick enough to beat you.
To be fair, it looks like I could just rip it apart with my hands, so I'm just going to go for that. I'm just going to take the duck bill and the part of the rabbit, and I'm just going to rip it, like bit by bit. And I'm probably going to just chuck that bill away if I manage it. If I can do that.
Well, your hands are so big, you managed to scoop up two of the duck bunnies and pull both of their beaks off with a horrible popping noise, sort of like a.
And the blood just spurts out everywhere, like all over. My face.
I was not going to include blood in this, but sure, why not? Yeah.
It's everywhere. Sinewy.
The duck bunnies, though, about a quarter of them have already died. Jump in for the kill. And they all rolled pretty good. Oh, I forgot to decide who they were attacking first. I'm going to say they're all attacking Jeffrey.
Oh.
Choice between Trim and Jeffrey.
Under a tide of hopping, quacking duck bunnies, Jeffrey disappears, only to be heard as this muffled sounds of bloodthirsty quacks. Ooh, that is distressingly accurate. You take 36 damage. What? 7 of the duck things managed to land pecks on you. Jeffrey Banjo is in some bad trouble here. Trim, you're next.
Oh, I'm gonna get my shot bow and fire an arrow at the closest duck bunny. I'm gonna just give it a go. I'm gonna hope that I don't hit Jeffrey Banjo.
Yeah, no, you don't hit Jeffrey Banjo.
Nice.
These things only have 6 hit points, so you're just guaranteed to kill it, unfortunately. They're not any bigger or nastier than an actual rabbit, and they just have... In fact, they have less teeth than a rabbit because they have duck bills instead. Like, I don't know if you've been pecked by a duck, but it's...
Bloody hurts!
Yeah, no, it hurts, but like it's less... It's considerably less deadly than an actual... Yeah. So that's another duck bunny bites the dust. There's only 8 of them left now.
The dust bunny.
Jeffrey, you are underneath 8 duck bunnies and most of the buffet.
Okay, so I'm guessing that they're all within pretty close radius then. So yes. I'm going to see if I can burst out of them and cast sleep. If they've got relatively low HP, this should hopefully...
Okay, what level spell slot are you using?
Does it go up? I will use a...
Hang on, let me just double check. Not everything does. No, it does, yeah.
I'll use a third level. Third level.
Okay, so third level puts... Excuse me. Third level lets you roll 9d8, which puts 25 hit points worth of rabbits to sleep, which is 4 of them.
Nice.
4 of the rabbits fall to sleep. Reverend Hatchet.
Are there any carrots or bits of lettuce as part of the buffet?
Yeah, there's like lettuce as like garnish around the edges of most of them. You could grab some. Yeah, you could grab them.
I'm going to kind of grab a handful and then just throw it just over to the left of Jeffrey in an attempt to tempt the remaining waking rabbits away from him to a more tasty meal.
Trying to imply that Jeffrey is less tasty than lettuce.
To a duck bunny?
Just in the abstract. Okay, that would probably be an animal handling check, which I think you're good at. I don't think we've ever actually had animals involved.
Animal handling is wisdom, which I am good at, but I'm not specifically good at animal handling.
Well, you've got there's a 19 there, so the duck bunnies are immediately distracted by something with more nutritional value than Jeffrey Banjo, which apparently includes lettuce, which famously has roughly the nutritional value of water.
Very important.
So the duck bunnies are distracted by the lettuce, and Jeffrey Banjo, you're just left on the floor covered in peck marks, and also surrounded by 4 surprisingly adorable duck bunnies that they're just sleeping. They're really cute when they're sleeping.
Should we take a bunny? Should we take a duck bunny? I'm gonna take a duck bunny. I'm gonna pick up a sleeping duck bunny and I'm gonna shove it in my bag.
Well done, cries Scott from just the other side of the room, safe from all the carnage. You've defeated the room of the friends you made along the way, but also snacks. Actually, mostly snacks. Forget the friends bit.
Are the twins but not with each other here?
Yes, the twins. Yeah, the twins, but not with each other are here. Except their food sculpture was made of the least appealing snack food of all time. Those little wafer cheese ball things that are like an ice cream cone on the outside and really cheap, nasty cheese on the inside.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Oh no, I won't be eating those. I'm going to grab a bunch of the food also to put in my bag. I'm just going to sweep a table.
Sure, it can replace all the gold that you don't have. So, Scott kind of shuffles awkwardly on his spider feet. Did that feel like a satisfying part of your adventure?
Did we learn anything? Is that what you're?
Yeah. I mean, you weren't threatened. Did you feel threatened?
I did.
Yeah, Jeffrey was.
I didn't feel threatened. I felt I didn't like the juxtaposition of seeing people that we've been friendly with turn into things that want to kill. That was quite upsetting. But other than that, I had fine. I've got food. I've got a new pet.
Yeah. To be fair, like that sort of level of violence is good for someone like Jeffrey who can't handle like further. But for like the rest of us, I just don't think it's much of a challenge. Like it might be like Jeffrey's room. Like if it was like going forward.
So you want like a more challenging, bigger.
Well.
Yeah, right. If you guys want to take a room separately each, and I'll have this one as my challenge, then yeah, you go ahead.
I mean, let's not really get away with ourselves. I mean.
We had an appointment. I didn't realize we were going to be battling things through a room. I mean, where's the customer service?
I mean, Basically, the appointment thing is going to be the cliffhanger, and I've got to get you through enough rooms that it leads neatly into that at the end of the show, but not so many rooms that it feels like pointless filler. I worry that if it's just all on this level where Jeffrey's the only one in trouble, I think the audience will lose interest.
Well, like if that's the case, then and things are going to get a little bit more hairy the further on we go. Does anybody have a little healing for the one that got pecked? A decent amount.
That's
You
something
don't you have
Before we go.
Bagsi?
Is that something I do? Yeah. All right, I'll do that for you, Jeffrey. Yeah. Come on, I don't want to see you really like that badly hurt. Come over here and I'll put my hands on you.
Thanks.
And
Yeah.
heal you up. Right.
Appreciate
That's
that.
right. I hear you.
Well, yes. Yeah, you can
Once I've got my
use.
hands on Jeffrey, can I just wink at Scott though, and just show him like a little bit of what he could be having?
What magical healing?
I'm just showing my hands can do a lot of things.
Sexual healing.
Scott kind of looks and is kind of like slightly nonplussed, and he says, "I mean, you used to do that to Reverend Hatchet, and you used to touch each other, and that was the gag, but that was when Hatchet was still a cleric."
Right.
Which just remind me, I'm actually quite badly hurt as well from when we were crossing the desert. So I shall use my balm of the summer court.
That sounds lovely.
Use myself with fairy magic to feel better.
That sounds like a Shakespeare play.
What? That's all.
Yeah, pretty much. How many dice do you want to spend? You've got 13.
6, I think. 6. So I'm actually quite badly hurt.
You recover 19 hit points.
Better than a smack in the face.
Yeah, you're back on 65.
While we're checking in with our general health, how's Trim doing? She's all right, isn't she?
Trim's on full health, 106 hit points.
Whoop. Right.
So the next room is sorry, hang on. It's a random generator. Sorry.
Okay, Scott, you take your time.
Okay. Follow me through this large and foreboding archway that you probably didn't notice in this room because it hadn't been described yet.
Oh.
That's the second time. That's weird. How are we not? Okay.
Well, shame on me.
Next time.
Would you prefer it to not be foreboding? We could describe it a different way.
Yeah. Well, could it be like I don't know, like postmodern or something like that? You know.
I mean, I think the whole thing's quite postmodern, to be honest.
Large and gaping.
It's a big archway. Yeah. Do you want it to be okay?
Doesn't look too bad to me.
A happy archway.
I'm getting nicer vibes from it actually.
Looks quite friendly.
It's a friendly archway, sure. And through this archway is the chamber of the best part of any adventure, which is whenever banjos are destroyed.
What?
Through the archway is a fairly small chamber, just made of plain stone, and in the middle there's just a small, just like a little end table that's got a big hammer on it, and written on the table in large block text is "Banjo goes here."
I like this room.
Scott turns and awkwardly looks at you, Jeffrey, and kind of gestures to the table. Sorry.
What? Do I have to destroy one of my banjos to get through this?
I mean, that's it's what this room. Yeah.
Can I have a good look around the room now? See if there's another door to leave by. I'm going to do it now.
Is there not another archway?
No, there isn't actually another archway. It's weird.
Well,
seems like it's for the good of the group there, Jeffrey. So
looking around the room, though, Jeffrey, Reverend Hatchet, you do find in the corner what you could only describe as a spider horse. In that it is very much like a horse crossed with a spider, in the same way that Scott is like a centaur, but with a spider instead of a horse.
Oh,
This is like a centaur, but with a spider instead of a man.
worst kind.
So
Except it is
hang on.
also
legs.
the size of a normal spider, so it is quite small. You could pick it up in your hands. It kind
No,
of.
it's
So,
cute.
so does that mean he's got a little horse body, and then with a weird like bulbous head with eight
head.
So it's got a
Let's weigh
little
it
horse.
down.
It's got a little horse body, but with 8 horse legs at weird angles, like spiders' legs. And then it has, on top of a horse-like neck, the big spidery, like mandibles and 8 eyes thing.
Hello.
If you
You're
had to
coming with
describe it,
me.
you would probably describe it as hideous and poorly conceived.
I shall call you Horace the spider horse.
Oh, come on, Reverend, really? I mean,
I have made a friend.
you, it's hideous. It's beastly.
Sorry, this room's not really very threatening either, is it?
No.
This is the best room.
He does pick up the hammer, though, and gestures again at the table. Sorry, could you?
Why does this have to happen? What does this have to happen?
Trim, don't question it. Just
Yeah,
let it go.
can't we
I
just
was just wondering.
walk out? I'm
I
not
just
sure
like-
this. I'm not sure this prophecy's for me anymore. I might. Just...
I mean, it's part of the function of the pyramid is that it just puts in the best parts of the adventure, so we can lead up to like the final battle.
How is this the best part?
Look,
I mean, I don't know.
Fine.
It's just I'm not in charge.
Fine with it. I mean, if it, I'm fine with it. I just wonder whether we have. Well, I'm just wondering what's to come. I've got nothing to lose. Yeah, destroy the banjo. Do what you like.
I mean, it's a banjo must be destroyed on this table. It can be an instrument. It can be a person.
Oh. That's dark.
No. Yeah, it's not going to be a person. All
Well,
right.
then-
Okay. Fine.
Banjos up there, then.
If you're telling me,
Ooh.
Scott, and I believe you, because you've got a good face and you've not done us wrong so far. You know,
Mm-hmm.
is this the only way that we can get through this room?
I'm pretty sure he's not going to describe a door for you until you do it.
All right. Okay then. And I've got 2 banjos.
You do.
One is my original banjo.
That has already been broken and remade. It's not like this is unprecedented.
Yeah, I know, but it's different when it's like, you know, in the heat of battle and stuff. And the other is my 3-neck banjo. So I really love my 3-neck banjo. That was one that I, you know, bought
Wasn't your
myself.
3-neck banjo destroyed last week? Like two episodes ago.
Oh yeah.
Was it destroyed?
Yeah, because it was the one thing that wasn't illusionary destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that,
You've
can
only
it be
got one
destroyed
banjo.
even more then?
No. It's
So
already
my
been destroyed.
original one has to. So both of my banjos have to be destroyed.
Either that or you could be destroyed.
Oh.
Jeffrey stands looking down at his banjo, wondering whether he loves his banjo more than he loves himself. I think the answer is yes. Will Jeffrey Banjo destroy the musical instrument that has brought him and so many others so much joy in order to progress in this slightly weird metatextual dungeon? Will there be more rooms this disappointing with no combat threat to our heroes, or will there finally be some danger in this previously described as pretty important place? Find out after the break in about 10 minutes in the second half of Tales of Adventure.
Welcome back to the second half of Tales of Adventure, Season 12, Episode 2, Pyramid Scheme. Our heroes are progressing through the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors, which, as it turns out, is a sort of weird metatextual dungeon which includes all of the best bits of an adventure. Our heroes emerge through yet another slightly foreboding but probably quite smiley archway, flush with their success, having progressed through large amounts of the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors off-screen, and they reminisce to each other.
I liked the bit where Jeffrey destroyed his banjo.
That was my favourite bit too.
Yeah.
You made the right decision in the end.
Well, it was either that or me. So
Yeah. Well, there
It's
you
a
go.
tough call, I imagine.
you know,
Ugh.
I'm just happy I got it. Like I got to play it one last time. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Both happy about that for different reasons.
It was. You always enjoy my music.
How the hell do you get that impression? When have I ever told you I enjoy my music? I think my exact words were, I'd understand why people were crying while listening to it.
Yeah, exactly. It was an emotional song.
It's technically very competent.
Scott was particularly pleased by that. He said, "Oh, amazing, it's a twofer. Not only was this room the bit where banjos get destroyed, but it's also the unexpected but unforgettable song which always comes during episode 2 of the series." Ha!
There we go.
Very
Exactly.
specific of
Well
you.
done.
God, do you guys remember the regular loo breaks as well? Weren't they great?
Yeah, they were actually pretty good. They were useful, handy actually.
Yeah,
I was
no one
thinking
ever
about that.
thinks that people pee, but they do.
Yeah, we
They
did.
often don't. Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to specifically put that in my journal to make sure that people know that we pee.
I don't anymore. The moisture just evaporates.
Oh yeah, you got some like osmosis thing going on.
Yeah, just kind of.
do you photosynthesize? You do, don't you? You just
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You dabble. You dabble.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Scott, as you've progressed through the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors, has started getting just gradually standing closer to Bagsi, which is quite awkward because the sort of parts of Scott that represent like his personality are, because you're all like people shaped, you have a natural bias that the top half of Scott is him, but then like the bottom half of Scott, the horrible big spider part, is also much larger. So it's to like stand next to Scott, there's a lot of awkward like shuffling around legs and like ignoring the big like dangly mandible parts.
And
Bagsi
I
would ignore
normally
those
find that
bits.
with
Not ignoring those dangly mandible parts. I like those dangly mandible parts. And I'm complimenting him on those dangly mandible parts. I say it as sexual mandible parts.
Is that the most sexual emphasis that you could put on mandible?
Yeah. Gotta emphasize the S's because that's what spiders find sexy.
Are you sure you're not thinking of snakes? That's snakes.
Definitely spiders.
The more you know.
Exactly, and I bet you that the horse spider in Reverend Hatchet's pocket right now is probably going a little bit jazzy.
Hearing all those
A
S's.
bit of jazz going.
Oh, hang on, guys. Sorry. We're in a featureless white void because nothing's been described yet. Just a second.
Oh.
Welcome to the break room. You're in a break room. There's some comfy chairs, slightly threadbare looking, a work surface in the corner that has a microwave, a kettle, and one of those like weird, like drip coffee machines.
Oh yeah.
There's a coffee table in the middle of the room on a slightly patchy one of those like tile carpets, and filling the chairs at various places around the room are what you take to be Scott's colleagues at the Tomb of Forgotten Horrors. They're all various poorly conceived monsters from previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons. There's what looks like a 10-foot wide brain with dog legs
Oh, why does everything have legs?
that turns
Strange.
and looks at you, which you can't really say looks because it doesn't have eyes. It just turns the front of its brain towards you. This is Alan, the intellect devourer. Hi, Alan.
Hello.
Alan waves a dog leg.
Right.
Fred, the flail snail. This is a snail the size of a person, 5 foot tall. Its shell is covered in scintillating colours that stun your eyes as you look at them, like one of those psychedelic gifts or something. And instead of like 2 eye stalks, it has 5, each tipped with a horrible spiky looking mace type thing on top of it. It waves them in a sort of like a friendly wave.
All right.
Hey.
There's just under the table there's our pet carbuncle, which you could probably only describe as an armadillo with a great big gem on its forehead.
Oh, that looks nice.
This is possibly the best room I've ever been anywhere ever.
Then, of course, there's Xavier the Zorn in the corner, which is a 3-legged barrel-shaped creature with 3 arms at the top of its barrel body, 1 eye in the middle, and splitting the top of its heads, kind of like down the front, a big toothy maw. Xavier? This is Steph from the art department. She's a flump. A flump, as it turns out, is like a jellyfish, but the size of a person, and on land, and just a bit squishier and more kind of like ineffectual looking.
Is it floating, or is it just like?
Yeah, it's floating.
Okay.
It floats on kind of like expressed gas, so it's kind of like there's a constant kind of like a kind of a noise.
Kind of guffing its way through life.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed that you work in the art department, Steph.
Does Steph
she's
have any
she's got
hounds?
lots of. She has very many tentacles.
Okay.
And 2 eyes on eye stalks that rise up above the top of the jellyfish type mantle.
Huh.
Oh, and last but by no means least, of course, there's Angela. Angela's an atropal. Scott gestures to the far corner of the room where you hadn't noticed before, but in a section of the room that seems infinitely larger and more cavernous than the rest of the room, there hovers what seems to be an impossibly huge form, like that of a weathered and blasted fetus, clutched in midair in a shriveled position. It turns cold, dead eyes upon you, and you can feel the horrible intelligence behind its eyes. For this is the stillborn fetus of a god that never was. It waves one tiny fetal hand at you, and Scott gives it a thumbs up.
What? Just don't look directly at it. I feel.
Yeah, Angela's a bit much if you haven't done too much of the cosmic stuff. I feel like you guys missed the boat on that one when you kind of came back from space.
So what's Angela do here?
HR.
Makes sense. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Well, thank you, Angela, for everything.
There's a murmur of polite hellos from the assembled employees, some of which speak, like Steph, the flump, some of which have kind of like guttural growls, like the Zorn, Xavier. Some of them speak directly into your minds, like the intellect devourer, who was telepathic. And some of them fill your minds with shrieking psychic pain, through which you emerge at the other end with the sense that you dreamed a hello.
Right.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to eat my snacks in the corner and just not make eye contact with anybody for a while. And I'm not going to share my snacks.
Cool.
Scott, is there just on the down low? Is there anything in particular that we're supposed to do to move on from this room? I mean,
it's
I don't want to kill any of these people. They're just they're just chilling out.
Oh wow! No, you do. Oh, you probably don't want to. You probably don't want to get into a fight here. To be honest, like you guys are what, level 13 mostly?
I mean, let's not judge people on this and that, and we're just cool guys, just going about a business, just trying to find a door.
Keeping it cool.
I mean, Angela's challenge racing 13 on her own, and honestly, I don't think you guys are.
Don't draw my attention back to Angela. Thank you.
Sorry.
I am.
Listen, I mean, it's imagine that this room, like the whole of the pyramids and probably the whole of the universe, is just like a sandbox for you to play in. You could do anything if you wanted. Do you want to fight someone? You could fight me.
Not particularly, mate.
Oh, I mean, I thought we were getting on. That's
yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, it's
fight for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean?
What? I thought we were going to do something a little bit different from fighting, Scott. If I'm honest with you.
Well, yeah, sure. There's still time for that. I'd like that. It's just I feel like you don't have any kind of clear sense of what your objectives are.
Aren't we on a break? Yeah, we're just on a break, aren't we? For a little while, having some snacks.
Yeah. No, that's what the break room's for. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So we can just have some snacks, and
but like in a broader sense, what's your purpose?
What do you mean, like in life, or like what's our purpose here? Like, why are we at this pyramid?
I feel like I've started asking too many questions, and I'm just supposed to be the receptionist that's a bit hot and maybe Bagsi sleeps with.
Hey, don't do yourself down, Scott. You're a real go-getter. If you want to be more than a receptionist, you go for it. Don't let other people put limitations on you.
I mean, I'd love to have more character development and maybe like a side arc of my own in the way that, say, Trim had a little bit of a side arc with Gilbert O'Sullivan, and he became a semi-developed romantic interest who then vanished without a trace when she lost interest. But we've only got like
ghosted him.
We've only got like 1.5 episodes, and I don't think there's enough time.
I am still grieving my wife that died there as well, Scott. So I'm not looking for anything too intense right now.
I mean,
Gilbert may be dead.
Flingy. Little fling.
Well, hang on a minute. What do you mean Gilbert might be dead? Did you kill him, Trim?
There was an altercation. He may be dead. It all got a little, bit hairy in the end, but he's not here anymore. So there we are. I'm sorry about your wife, Bagsi.
Thanks, Trim.
And of course, your husband and child, Bagsi.
Of course, the main reason, the whole of my life, my purpose, my husband and wife. No, wait, my husband and daughter, son. For me to remember, it's been such a long time since I saw their faces.
Pickle.
He's called Pickle.
Pickle. Of course, Pickle.
Yeah.
Called him that.
I feel like we're a bit above my pay. Do you just want to go? Do you just want to go upstairs?
Maybe we should. I mean, you're getting a bit weird, Scott.
Yeah, you're coming across a bit needy.
This room's got a bit weird.
Sorry, I've gotten more attention in this episode than I thought I would.
I mean, if nothing else, I can feel Angela's eyes like burning into the back of my head. She is creeping me out.
Uncomfortable, to say the least. Maybe, Scott, you could just draw us a door. Just describe a door for us.
Yeah.
No, he turns and gestures to the wall. Won't you step into this elevator that has been here the whole time?
Wait.
What elevators here? Oh, that's
Have we never seen that? That feels.
It looks just like the elevator that you may have hallucinated earlier on the ground floor.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah, we all had that collective vision. That was weird, wasn't it? We all saw that together.
That was odd.
Personally, I don't like this. I think it's a little bit of a spiteful touch, and that I think he should be working with the illustrator, not teasing him.
Wow. It looks like a great elevator. I've got to say that.
What? Sure. Why don't you step inside?
It's got a smiley face and everything.
Yeah, it's a happy elevator.
Direction.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm quite happy to exit this room, to be quite honest with you.
Me too.
Does anybody else think that the Happy Elevator could have its own spin-off series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
the Happy Elevator.
Yeah, but it'd be like a kids show. So you'd
Yeah.
go up to, floor 1, and then you'd see loads of things that
Yeah, there's something a little bit
a little bit
disgusting.
like on Sesame Street when they learn the
Kids
how
walking
to
into the
count.
mouth of an
Yeah,
elevator.
the
That's
count.
creepy, isn't it?
yeah.
It's like the mouth being like, "Come on in."
Oh yeah, that's a bit scary,
Ooh.
maybe. But the most kids' TV shows give you nightmares eventually, I find.
What kids' TV shows have you been watching?
Sesame Street. I haven't been watching it recently, but
Sesame
Street
Street gave you
terrifies
nightmares.
me. It terrifies me.
Yeah, there were some
From-
pretty creepy ones.
So scary. Sesame Street is terrifying.
It was
Yeah,
no
the
Button
count-
Moon.
The
Button
cat.
Moon is bae. Button Moon is absolute bae.
Great TV show.
Great TV show. They got spoons for hands. They go
Yeah.
to the moon. I mean, it's a
What
dream.
more could you want?
It's done.
We're having this conversation as we're going up the elevator. by the way.
Oh, okay. So inside the elevator, you have a lovely, lovely conversation. As in the background, an elevator music version of the song that Jeffrey sang earlier plays. It's quite catchy. How does it go? How does it go? Yeah.
It's a little bit like Tribute from Tenacious D.
I'm not familiar with that. You'd have to sing it.
Well, I can't actually read music, so I can't read the music that's happening at the moment. With all of those legit actual notes that are going on in the. Nobody can. Oh, people just make it up. That's what you're saying. Yeah, it's sort of muzak. It's kind of chilled out elevator music. The sort of the music that you have when you're building a house on The Sims. It's that kind of thing. Which I can't actually call to mind at the moment.
I don't know what that is.
It's like it's cheerful.
I've just got when you get a tune in your head and you can't get it out, and it's do 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 do.
Tetris.
That's not The
Tetris,
Sims.
there we
That's
go.
Tetris.
Yeah, it's
It's a
Tetris.
famous
That's
piece of
what it
Russian
is.
classical music.
But it's like Russian march music. It's more like it's like that, but played on a harmonica, because that's one of the only instruments I've got now. So it's a little bit more like bluesy Tetris.
Is that Jeffrey's is that his kind of genre, like blues Tetris?
Well,
So when
yeah.
what do you play? Oh, I'm kind of, blues Tetris. Kind of.
Just piling the notes on top of each other, see what lines come out. Do you know what I mean?
Just missing the
beats.
really crucial, important note that you need at the last minute drops into place. When
yeah.
it does, finally, everything makes
Don't
sense.
know where it's going until right at the last minute.
Yeah.
A big long note comes in,
And then it will just
and
stop.
it just brings it all together.
Classic.
The elevator slows, and you feel that strange feeling in the pit of your stomach as it judders to a halt, and the doors swish open with a ding. Ding! And you find yourselves staring out into a large chamber. This is plainly the top of the pyramid, because you can see the roof above you has the shape of a pyramid. In the far distance, the room stretches out and up to a raised dais, upon which is sat a black throne, and in that throne is sat a figure wearing a cloak and hood. You can make out very little of them, because Between you and them, in the middle of the floor, is a large circular pit filled with swirling, glowing light of all kinds of colours at once. Reds, golds, blues. I'm not going to just list colours, you know how that works.
No, most colours.
Cool.
Yes.
A booming voice emerges from the figure on the throne. Come in, I've been waiting for you.
Can we walk on that?
No, I mean, there's floor around the swirly thing.
All right.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, okay.
It sounded like it was like all over the place, so I was confused. Now look at it again, I can see that there's clearly floor everywhere, guys. Let's walk around it, guys. Let's walk around it.
Thanks.
okay, Bagsi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the floor?
The floor or the swirly thing in the middle of the floor?
Well, both actually. The floor's quite nice. I like the tile pattern you've got going on, but then also,
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I didn't have anything to do with the tile pattern. That was the illustrator. It's quite nice.
I liked it. Yeah, I think
It was
it's
good.
nice. What about the
Like his
swirly
work.
bit then?
The swirly bit is the well of potential. In that swirly vortex is everything that has been alluded to in the entire course of Tales of Adventure and yet never revealed. Geoffrey Banjo, your father is in that swirly vortex. Bagsi,
Oh. Hmm.
your son, Baby Pickle, is in that vortex.
What, Ickle Pickle?
Pickle. Your husband is there too. Trim, all your family, the goblins and halflings both, they're somewhere in that vortex. Reverend Hatchet, you don't really have much of a backstory, so I don't know if there's much in there for you.
Maybe your previous life.
It kind
The
of
life you
yeah,
could have
that
been.
kind of like, that's
Oh,
not
yeah,
very
well-
appealing for me to want to jump into it or anything.
All your war buddies, you used to be like a cleric in the middle of the war. It was very mash.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's all
Here's what-
there.
Wait, what do you want from us then? Just
Well-
jump in.
No, well, God, that would be a weird option.
Sorry, can you
Sort of,
repeat that? You're
Hearing you through the void there.
like you got a little
Yeah, the
cold.
void's got a bit of a.
Are you allergic
I
to
don't-
meta as well? Are you about to sneeze? Got a bit of a cold.
No,
there.
I'm not allergic to meta. If anything, I'm addicted to meta. I'm surprised you haven't seen yet. No, I don't want you to jump in. That'd be weird. Besides, you jumped into a lot of vortexes around like season 5, 6, and I feel like we did too much.
Yeah.
Did we ever?
Bagsi
Yeah, we-
certainly has. Hello.
We overdid the vortices. No, I want your story to have a satisfying ending.
Very kind. Wait, ending?
Yeah. Hang on. Let's just. Sorry. Ending.
Well, not just your story. I think the entire world. I'm a bit bored of it.
Guys, that sounds like a threat. I feel like we need to just take this guy down.
I mean, who are you exactly to be destroying worlds? Hmm?
We
You,
all get.
you cloaky weirdo.
I'm the dungeon master. Obviously.
This is a pyramid, not a dungeon.
We're not in a dungeon. We're at the top. You can't have a
You know,
dungeon at
this-
the top.
This kind of pedantry and backchat is pretty much exactly the reason that I want to destroy the universe.
We all get bored of the universe sometimes. Sometimes we think, oh, the universe doesn't really have much for me, doesn't really hold the interests I like, but you can't just destroy it. I mean, even if I could destroy the universe, I don't know if I would. Maybe if I was feeling particularly vengeful and spiteful one day, but I don't feel like it's the universe's fault. I feel like it, I mean, I'm having an existential crisis. I don't understand.
I mean, everyone's having an existential crisis. That's very much the nature of what's going on. As in, there's a crisis and everything might not exist soon.
But your reasons for doing it are because you're bored.
Yes.
Well, at least Thanos had like a good reason for like half the world's you know, try and save stuff if we were. Sorry, not that one, but like from
Another world.
Why do all DMs wear hoods?
Or dressing gowns.
It's more of like a tradition thing.
Right.
Because Dungeon Masters are supposed to be mysterious. I'm really breaking with tradition by talking to you directly.
Okay. So you're the person that's been like trying to kill us with loads of different, like, you throw the Rakshasa in there, didn't you?
Yeah, that was me.
With various different like dragons and stuff way back when.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Did you throw the prophecy in from that vortex?
Yes, that was. Yeah, I wrote that prophecy. Did you like it? I was quite pleased that it rhymed.
But I mean, yeah, like all good prophecies rhyme.
Well, it got us here.
It was pretty good. Yeah, that's fair. It did get us here. Did the job. Now we're here though.
Yeah.
What else do you want us to do?
Well, I mean, I don't really want you to do anything. I just, let me break it down for you. So I created the world, right?
Right.
Just all of the things that are in it. I describe them. They come into existence. But don't you feel like it's just not, as worlds go? It's kind of so. Like, think about all the places you've been. Could you tell me anything about the geography of the world?
I know. I mean, geography gets a bit complicated when you're hopping dimensions. I mean, we've been to hell, we've been to outer space, we were in the desert, we were in a different desert. I mean, you know, it all gets a bit. I mean, geography. What, like, do you want to draw it on a map or?
Yeah, could you draw a map of this place?
Not a very
good
one.
What, the world?
Yeah.
I could draw you a map. Yeah.
Could be done.
Just depends how accurate you want it to be.
Could be done.
I know where Silver Crown is.
Yeah, where's Silver Crown from here?
South, innit?
Is it?
Yeah. We came north.
Yeah.
I probably. Geography is not my strong point. I'm one of those people that just sort of get on the camel, and when I get there, I'm like, oh, lovely, I'm here now. I don't really keep track of how I got there.
Yeah, actually, as long as Francis the camel knows, then it doesn't matter.
Like it's home. It's like a homing camel.
You just say, Francis the camel, please take us to Silver Crown, and then.
Yeah, I was writing in my journal.
But that's the problem, isn't it? There's no sense of consistency or connection to each other. I mean, you might as well just be magically teleporting from one adventure to the next.
Well, I mean, sometimes we do. That's how you travel, using magic. You open a portal, you drop through a portal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can teleport, you do teleport.
I mean, I
the
thought
only way to travel.
I mean, if anything, coming up in Ding the elevator, I just sort of like, God, thank goodness that magic has been invented, because this is taking forever.
Did you invent magic?
Well, no, I didn't invent magic. I just oh shoot, hang on, sorry. Yeah, also John the Octopus is like he's been with you the whole time. And he flirted with Scott a bit as well because of the 8 legs thing. It's like they had something in common.
Wow.
But Bagsi was a better conversationalist, sure. John the Octopus is inside Reverend Hatchet's backpack and is pouting because he didn't get to sleep with the Drider.
I did not realise John had urges in that way.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, John and Horace the Spider,
the size of his tentacles,
because they have the 8 legs thing in common as well.
Gosh, it's all just one. It's all. This is why me and Gilbert never worked out. I just find the whole thing of any kind of romantic is just horrid. It's just so unnecessary.
Violence is just a lot simpler, really, isn't it?
Violence is just so pure.
You want to find like a good medium between the two of them, like fight with a bang with some fight. Do the whole shebang. That's what you want, Trim. Wisdom for you there.
I don't have very good wisdom, but at -1, I'm not wise. But thank you for trying.
I was trying to explain it in simple ways, Tetris-like ways.
I'm glad that you have some kind of like perspective on what ought to happen, because to be honest, the reason I want to kind of tear everything down is so that we could start fresh, like set up a new thing,
Can I be in it, Trim Toscobble?
Well, no, I don't think Trim Toscobble should be in it, but I feel like Trim Toscobble should have some input into what is in it, if that makes sense. I want to do a bit more like open collaboration. I feel like I've described a lot of stuff that has been very aggressive to you guys, and I want to have more give and take.
Do you want us to? We're basically here to sit around and brainstorm a universe.
A new.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So first, I'm going to destroy this universe, and then, if you guys are up for it, I would like to work together with you to build a new one, a better one where we can tell more interesting stories than yours. Stories that have like character arcs and consistent consequences to your actions, and maybe even a geography that makes sense and you could travel around. Maybe even there would be like plot developments that would happen without your input, like, things that happen in the background.
Wow.
Dangerous speaking.
I like most of it. I don't like the consequences of my actions thing, but the rest I can get on board with. And if the rest of the universe is destroyed but we survive, maybe that's not so bad.
I mean, will there still be tiny horses in the shape of spiders?
Do you want there to be tiny horses in the shape of spiders?
Well, I mean, it's an obvious yes.
But I mean, it's not just down to you. Like, you four are pretty important. You're the central characters. Your story is ostensibly the story that this show is about. But I mean, there's lots more as well. Those guys downstairs, they're important. All 24 of them. I didn't make them. What are we supposed to do with them? What about their input?
Yeah, think of all the fanjos we'd have to kill.
Should we ask Miss Duzball what she thinks?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the right moment. Bring her out.
I'm gonna get Miss Duzball out of my pocket, and here she is. Miss Duzball.
Yes.
Wake up.
I'm sorry, I was dreaming of biscuits.
That's so pure. That's the purest thing anybody said all episode. But what do you think about the universe being destroyed?
Oh, why?
Just hypothetically.
I wouldn't like that. Then there'd be less biscuits.
What if the okay.
No, that point does stand.
That stands. I tried to counter it, but I couldn't think of anything.
I mean, I feel this is a bit of a conundrum, because I feel like would it be too much of a step to kind of there's a certain similarity between yourself, Mr. Hooded Cloaked Creepy Fella, and a quote unquote.
Please call me Steve.
Very well, Steve. There are similarities between yourself and a god. If it is true that you created the universe, which, frankly, I've seen no evidence for. You've just said it. I mean,
at the moment, it's very Wizard of Oz, isn't it?
Just a guy
sitting on a throne. You got some.
Well, I mean, do you want some overt displays of power?
Well, I need some proof.
All right. Okay.
Jeffrey Banjo. You remember those banjos you destroyed earlier? Now you've got 3 banjos.
What?
One of them's got 2 necks, one of them's got 3 necks, one of them has 4 necks. All the necked banjos you want. Lots of banjos. There you go. Have some fucking banjos. Is that good? You satisfied?
I'm gonna get the four-necked banjo out and start playing it.
Right, that's it. This guy's evil. I've got it. We're good. He's bad. There's only one solution to this.
It's a
Smash
beautiful
fight.
cue. Oh, okay. Oh, now you want to fight? Now you want to fight?
I'm just saying, I know for one thing is we're the good guys. You're a hooded guy in a hood, right? And there's never been a good hooded person ever.
What? Excuse
Robin
me?
Hood?
What?
Robin
Like clothes make you evil?
What?
Robin
Every-
Hood.
I have a hood.
All right.
I mean,
Also
but
got-
you are evil, though.
Yeah, Trim, you're quite evil. That's actually
Helping my argument there, Trim.
yeah.
Well, you know what? All right, if you guys want to fight, that is fine by me. I thought it was maybe too easy to just offer you a chance to define the new world. Maybe you need to struggle. Maybe you need to fight some proper opponents who will really challenge you. You know, heck, one of the problems I've had with this universe is it feels like there's nothing here that could properly challenge you. I mean, you've not. When was the last time you were afraid for your lives?
Well, those
I mean, those
duck
those
bunnies.
duck bunnies.
Yeah, that actually, to
Bunnies
be
are
fair,
I
there
don't
was a
know,
moment.
They just jumped. There was loads.
Took it out in like seconds.
Angry quacking.
That bill is like a hard pinch. It
We
really
just thought
is.
we were having some lunch, and then suddenly, like,
Yeah,
all right, they're just there.
compromised.
Yeah,
Compromised.
yeah, they really. That was an ambush. They
That was. I nearly died.
yeah, they saw us coming. They had us.
Legit. I had my arm stolen. That was
Yeah,
good.
by that monkey.
Yeah, that was.
Was that-
Oh yeah,
Was that threatening or was that more inconvenient?
it was quite funny.
I don't even know how the duck was biting you anyway. It's like a bill, right? Is that
It was a
Pecked
pinch.
me.
It was a pinch.
Pecked me.
Pecky
It would have been worse if they'd been rabbit geese, because geese have more.
Oh,
Like, they've got
Yeah,
more
that would have
bite
been
to it,
worse.
haven't they? They're
More of a
more kind of
challenge.
like a jagged, you know.
that's
Yeah.
where
Very
you went
evil.
wrong.
Geese are very evil.
They
Yeah,
will
like
ruin a
that one.
picnic. They will.
I
ruin
don't
a
know how
picnic.
you got so badly hurt, because the ducks really, they just would have been like mouthing you, really.
I mean, no, it's like aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, you know what? I've been thinking about this for a while. If you guys want to fight, that's great. Because have I got some guys that also want to fight you? Hey, look, watch this. Steve waves his hand in the air and swirling plumes of black smoke jet forwards, 4 of them to coalesce into 4 tornadoes of smog in front of each of you, which swirl and build and then eventually dissipate, revealing 4 figures, each facing one of you. Jeffrey, you find yourself facing a lithe figure, tall and slim, wearing leather pants, a black silk shirt, and a stylish hat. In both hands, he holds a familiar-looking black axe with strings of fire down its handle and onto the blade, like a guitar. He turns and glances at you with one raised eyebrow and smirks underneath his full and stylish goatee.
No.
Every pore exudes sexuality, and he breathes out a little puff of fire into you and he says, "Hey, I'm the you that could have been. I'm a real dragon bard." Bagsi, you can't help but feel that you've been missing out.
I feel like I've been missing out. Whoa, where were you all the time? Huh.
Reverend Hatchet, the vortex in front of you clears and you find yourself staring up at, similarly and unsurprisingly, another evil version of yourself. But he's not short and vegetable like you. He's tall and inhumanly beautiful. Chiseled muscles. A belt of human skulls rather than just one on the head. He has the cold, clean, arrogant looks of some kind of fairy creature, and he fixes you with a stare that is at once familiar and terrifyingly alien. In one hand, he holds a staff made of gnarled and twisted white wood, and in the other, a wickedly sharp-looking knife covered in what you assume to be dried blood.
What the hell is this?
You've got a dirty knife.
Trim, emerging from the vortex opposite you, is a halfling figure with pale red skin. She's bedecked in armor that looks as though it's made of solid gold, and her glowing fiery eyes fix you with a look of hatred. On top of her head is a crown of spikes, and you think for a minute that she's wearing a helmet like yours, but no, these are horns of her own. She is filled with demonic power like you always could have been, but never quite picked a thing. Bagsi, seeing your friends confronted by evil, sexy versions of themselves, you think for a moment, what could be more evil and more sexy than you? And the vortex in front of you thins and clears, and you find yourself looking at a figure that could almost be stepped out of a mirror.
Oh.
The mirror Bagsi shrugs and says, "Yeah, there isn't really an evil version of you. I'm just pretty much you." She hefts a gigantic hammer in her hands and wears the same pink armor as you, although her hair flops down to the other side. That's how you can tell the difference.
Oh.
Really, evil is just about who you fuck and who you slaughter mercilessly.
I couldn't agree more. Oh my
Right?
god. I love it.
I know. We're great.
You're great. I'm also great.
We
Do you
are.
fancy
Bagsi.
a little bit
Fancy-
of ickle pickle behind the...
Bagsi!
That's your son's name. You can't use that.
You know what?
My
I'm
son would
I'm
make
down
it
for
one way
that.
and one way only. You know what I mean?
Let these losers fight. We'll go off and, have some fun.
Let's do it. Let's fuck. That's what we were thinking.
Suppose it's just masturbation.
And I'm into it.
Probably masturbation.
I mean,
Okay.
technically speaking, comes the voice of Steve from way over on the throne. If it's an alternate reality version of yourself, it's closer to incest than to masturbation.
Eh.
Oh, great. Great.
Now, how about yourselves? Ridiculously overpowered, somewhat mixed in concept, murder machines. How's that for a threat? Will our heroes overcome the evil versions of themselves in the climactic combat of this entire universe? Is the Dungeon Master being way, way too self-indulgent as he wants to reboot the universe? Will the audience finally lose interest as the whole show rapidly vanishes up a metatextual asshole that is of its own creation? Find out in the next and final episode of Tales of Adventure. I thought that was okay. Good job, guys.